Okay, so here we are live once again with another G.I. Joe Classified Series unboxing, and this is Scrap Iron with his anti-armor drone. So I'm a little late to the game getting this one, but I found him at Ross for $15, so you can't beat that price for something like this. He was a deluxe figure, so he's a little more expensive, which is why it took me so long to dragging my feet getting around to him, but looks to me like he's one that actually justifies being a deluxe figure. Look at all this stuff he comes with. So it's kind of appropriate that I would get Scrap Iron late in the game because he appeared so late in the game in the comics. He didn't show up, I believe, until 1986 or at least late 1985. He was a 1984 figure, so took him a while to get around to getting him in there, and I'm guessing it's probably just because there were so many new characters introduced in that lineup. You know, you had Storm Shadow, you had Firefly, you had Zartan, you had Duke, you had Roadblock, a lot of different characters, a ridiculous amount of characters. And Scrap Iron, I guess, got kind of lost in the shuffle. Even Larry Hama can only do so much, folks. So what can I say? So, got a nice portrait of Scrap Iron on the side here. We got, there it is on the front also. Figure number 74. And, of course, the most recent figure that I opened up was, when I opened up, God, what was it? I opened up something that was 137, I think. Was it the Tiger Paw? Let's look at the box here. Yeah, Tiger Paw was 137. So, hey there, Daniel Evans. How you doing today? All right, so go ahead and open them up. But that shows you how long it's been since this figure has been out, is that there's literally been, like, almost 70 figures since then. So that's quite a bit. So this is an older, with the when they were still doing that plastic-free packaging. So let's go ahead and get that out. And there we have the figure of Scrap Iron and the drone. Well, so far so good. We got no complaints yet. I did get kind of off to kind of a late start on this video because I meant to do it earlier, but I had to go run some errands real quick. Here we got the Foot Locker. That's going to have some additional accessories in there. Let's have a look and see what's in this box. There's two of these paper envelopes. I don't miss these things at all. So let's have a look, see what we got. So there's lots of these blast effects. Looks like the whole bag is just full of blast effects. That looks like where there's an end pack of something. So why don't I go ahead and I've got a small box here. It's got some packing in it. Somebody mailed me something, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put the stuff in the box as I take it out, so that way I don't lose it. And this seems to be a larger type of impact, so that's pretty cool. All these things are really cool for, like, people who want to do dioramas and things. So these are like where it would launch the missile, and you can see that it's got like a peg here that will attach into the missile launcher, and another hole at the end that the missile can peg into. So that's nice. We'll have a look at how all those come together later. And then this bag here. And here are the missiles, and this one looks a little warped at the top. You see how that's slightly warped? So I'm pretty sure I can loosen it up with some heat from a hairdryer. And speaking of warped, man, look at his helmet. It got all smashed up in there. As I mentioned, I don't miss the plastic-free packaging at all. All right, so, oh, damn it. So his gun fell out. It was in one of these hollows of these and it fell out and it hit my knee and it landed somewhere. I don't know where it landed. Did I mention I don't miss the plastic-free packaging? I don't, not even a little bit. I have no idea where his gun could have gone then. So it's around here somewhere. Maybe it bounced into this box of stuff that I have here. Hasbro, why did you do this to me? Okay, so we're not gonna talk about his gun because it fell out and bounced away, and I have no idea where it is now. So unfortunately, that is just how that's going to be. But it's because of that stupid plastic-free packaging that they claim it's for the environment, but we all really know that the only kind of green that Hasbro cares about is that kind of green. So I don't buy them trying to tell me that it's for the environment. And they got this one paper rope thing twisted around both his waist and his arm, and I don't mean in such a way where like it's around both of them at the same time. Repaint green. It's so here he is out of the package, and he is an ugly cuts. He's all scarred up on that side, probably blowing himself up, working with these explosives. Can't decide whether to say explosives or explosions. Transformers. This thing. Is this? Are you saying this thing's from Transformers? I don't know. Maybe some of the missile effects are from Transformers. I don't know. Let's see how the helmet fits on him. Hopefully, I'm hoping once I fit the helmet on there, yeah, that'll help form it right. So there it looks pretty good on his head. Certainly helps to cover up some of them scars. We'll take it off again. I'll come back to that in a little bit. So I'm gonna want to have it off when I talk about the articulation. No, you were saying the repaint. I gotcha. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the kind of green they like is the kind that folds up and goes in their pocket, is what I'm saying. The kind that you keep in your wallet. That's the kind of green Hasbro likes. If it'll get them that kind of green, they're all for it. But they're not about the environment, is what I'm saying. They might say, "Oh, it's about the environment," so they look all noble and everything. But we all know why it really is. So here are the tank treads, and unfortunately, it does not seem like these tank treads move at all. It seems like they're just kind of molded in place. And I would be okay with this if they did like the old school kind of toys and gave us some wheels underneath. So it looks like this thing is going to be like actually immobile, and that's kind of disappointing. When I was a kid and the original Scrap Iron figure came out, and that one, the missile platform, was on kind of not quite a tripod, it had 4 legs, but it was like 2 sets of legs that kind of crossed over each other. So it had these 4 legs that it sat on. And I always thought it would have been cooler if they'd have put it on like some tank treads or something so that it could move around. And apparently somebody at Hasbro agreed with me and decided to do that. But unfortunately, that even though they did do that, it's still not tank treads that can move, which I would have preferred. But it does look very much like the original missile platform that that Scrap Iron came with. He's got some little cameras and sensors in the front there, and it says Ant Tank 002. I'm not sure why it says Ant Tank instead of Anti-Tank. You would think that even if you're going to abbreviate it, you would you're taking off one letter, like, and it's like the thinnest letter too, so it's not even going to save you that much space. But he does have, if you look here, there's this little logo on here, which is M with like a little semicircle kind of curve, almost like the edge of the planet, and that must supposed to be the emblem of Mars Industries, which, if you remember from the original Scrap Iron file card, it said that he had designed weapons for Destro. So he used to work for Mars Industries, I guess, before he joined Cobra. But they never really got that into it in the comics. So I kind of wonder if Scrap Iron, even as a member of Cobra, was still always more loyal to Destro, and maybe kind of a sleeper agent for Destro. I don't recognize too many of these parts, although they might be parts reused for something. I can't quite place them. It would kind of make sense if they were the same. Some of these parts were reused from Airborne, since they had kind of a similar. Yep, it looks like the arms are the same as Airborne's. The legs are not the same, but the arms are the same. The harness around the legs, you might expect that they reused that, but that does not appear to be the case. So, because Airborne has a couple of pouches on there, and the harness extends up into his vest, whereas this one is completely separate from his vest. So let's have a look at how these missiles work. So much like the original, the missiles just kind of slide in there. And it's not a missile. I mean, it is a missile launcher, but it's not a spring-loaded for the toy kind of missile launcher. It's more of a, you just kind of pretend like it launches. We used to have to use our imagination back in the 80s. We didn't have all the spring-loaded stuff. So here we got one of the blast effects, so we can see how that works. So you plug the missile in where there's the hole, and then this will fit in to the actual missile launcher, and then it looks like the missile is launching. So that's pretty cool. And it is on a ball joint, but it can only move on the ball joint so far. But that does afford a little bit of articulation, so that's nice. And then, of course, the whole missile platform, the treads can move, so you can aim that upwards a little bit more, or downwards a little bit more, I suppose, if you want to. Like you're shooting off of a cliff or something. So it's pretty cool. I think that I would have preferred, like I said, if they'd have actually put some wheels on the bottom of this thing so it could roll along, and that would be nice. But there's a lot of articulation to this, so you could pose it on some uneven terrain or something like that. So that's nice. And one other thing that is different about this from the original one is that the original one had like a little handheld launcher, little remote control thing that was connected to the missile by means of a cable. So Daniel Evans says that blast effect looks like the plug. Yeah. So, but we're in more modern times now. We don't have a cord attachment. We've got antennae, little Wi-Fi kind of thing going on, and he's got this remote control, and there is like a little targeting screen on there, so he can work that. Put that in his hand, and we got to kind of pry his hands open a little bit so we can fit that in there, but it does fit. So there he is holding that. Can we get it into like a two-handed kind of grip? That would be ideal, I think. Since it's got controls on both sides, you would think that little thumb controls, almost like a PlayStation controller. So there we go. There's his little remote control for his drone. And again, like with the original one, it was just something that just sat there and he just shot missiles out of it. So this would need to have a little bit more of a complex control, since it's got to drive it around and stuff. So pretty cool little setup. I do wish that I could show you the gun, but like I said, because of the stupid way they packaged it, the gun fell off somewhere, and it might have fallen it hit my knee, but it could have bounced anywhere after that. And I've just got so much stuff piled up here for all this clutter. I need to clean it up, but I'll check and see maybe if it fell in here. If it fell in here, that would be the best place for it. I think that's it. I'm not incredibly familiar with it since I didn't get a look at it before it fell out. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, that looks like the one that I saw on the back of the package, where you see like it's kind of slung back almost like he just fired it, kind of thing. I think it's supposed to be that's just supposed to be the shape of the gun, but to me it looks like when a gun when it slides back when it's firing. But since I was able to find it now, we can have a look at that. So let's put the gun in his hands, see how he looks when he's holding it. The original scrap iron figure from back in the 80s came with a sidearm. Oh, you picked up the Transformers G.I. Joe Triple T. Yeah, I've been wanting to pick that up. I just haven't. I wasn't able to buy it this time because like I just had so much other stuff I was buying. I tried to get most of the Transformers crossover stuff, but hopefully I'll be able to get that one later because I do think that looks really cool. But I've got I've got the Hiss tank and the Awe Striker and the Thunder Machine. So, but yeah, there he is with the gun, and that looks pretty cool. I think. Let's see how it fits into his holster, and nice and snug, just the way I like it. All right, so let's talk about his articulation. Scrap iron can look up about that far. He can look down about that far. He can tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Like most G.I. Joe classified figures, there is articulation both at where the head meets the neck and where the base of the neck meets the shoulder. So it does give you a good range of articulation there. Way better than the other ones, you say. Yeah, well, I'll have to check that out. Like, I'm a big fan of Leatherneck. He's a character that I really like in G.I. Joe. So I was looking forward to that. And, of course, Sergeant Slaughter is just like, freaking iconic in every sense. Hey there, Sean Franklin. How you doing today? Oh, he's got the little Cobra sigil on his shoulder there, like the original figure had. Arms move up about that far. He does have butterfly joints, so they can move back about that far and forward about that far. He does have a bicep, so the little bicep rotates all the way around. He does have double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. The wrists, of course, rotate all the way around, and the right wrist has a vertical hinge, goes down about that far, goes up about that far. Not the best range of motion there, but there is a little bit. And then the left hand has a horizontal hinge, so it goes in about that far and out about that far. So decent enough. What do you think about my picture, Justice League? I haven't seen your picture of Justice League. Huh. I'll have to. Is it on your channel? I'll have to check it out. I actually just rewatched Batman v Superman the other day because I was on the phone with my cousin Amy. Shout out to my cousin Amy if she's watching this. And I got really in. She just made some kind of offhanded mention of Batman versus Superman, and let me tell you something about Batman versus Superman. And I just went on like this rant about like everything I love about that movie, and and I was like, man, I really want to watch Batman versus Superman again. And your profile pic. Daniel Evans says profile pic. Profile pic. My profile pic? I don't know. My profile pic is just a picture of my handsome mug. Now on Facebook, my profile pic right now is actually a picture of Henry Cavill as Superman. Honestly enough, but that's just my Facebook profile. But anyway, so like I it was really late at night when I got off the phone with her, so I was like, I'm just gonna watch a little bit of it before I go to sleep, and then I wound up watching the whole damn movie. I think you can pull up a big version for your viewers. A big version of my face? Well, who wants to see that? You already got a big version of my face. Yeah, my beard is more neatly trimmed in the profile pic, though, so that's nice. I do think that's one of the better pictures of me. That was when I was unboxing some Skeletor action figure. I forget which one, but I do like Skeletor, so I was happy, obviously. So, oh yeah, I was talking about the articulation on this guy before I got distracted talking about Justice League, and that may be Superman and Snyder and all that stuff. So he does have ab crunch, moves back about that far, moves forward about that far. It was a little stuck on mine. Maybe I can get him. Yeah. He's got this vest, so that's going to kind of hinder their profile pics. Whose profile pics? Who are they? They are always out to get me. But who are they? Can you share photos with the streamer that way? I don't know. There might be a way to do it. Let's see if I click where it says more, post comment. Do you want me to do this? No, don't do that, phone. Do you want me to do that? Is that what you're talking about? You want me to do that? I can do that sometimes. I just been kind of distracted. Sean Franklin asked if you've seen Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Yes, that's the only one I watch. I did see it in the theaters. Obviously, I saw it like 6 times, and so I have seen the theatrical cut. But if I've got the Ultimate Edition, why am I going to watch any other version? I'm going to watch the Ultimate Edition. Obviously, I think the last time I watched the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman was when they had it on Netflix, and even then I was trying to just kind of watch it on Netflix just because it was on Netflix and kind of give them a little bit of a boost. What would be cool? X-Men and Fantastic Four comic book. There wasn't an X-Men Fantastic Four comic book back in the 80s, and I had it, and it was awesome. So I have another channel I watch. They pull up a big version of the viewer's profile pic. I don't know how to pull up a big one. I only recently figured out how to pull up the small one. I mean, let's see. Post comment, layout, private chat, stream info, settings, general camera, layouts, guests. I don't know. Maybe if I had somebody on as a guest. I don't know how all that works though. So I don't know. I pretty much just open up action figures. So it's like I don't know who'd want to be there while I'm opening up action figures. It's like, do I really want to be seen with this guy? I don't know. Anyway, Scrap Iron can kick up about that far. He does have the cool drop down hip articulation that most of these G.I. Joe classified figures have. He does have a thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. He does have double jointed knees, but these are really stiff knees. There we go. I got it to bend up. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. There may be an option, but I don't know where it is. I haven't been able to check on their name. Click on their name in the chat. Yeah, see, I click on your name in the chat. That's what it does. It does that. So maybe these little dots over here. Star comment, delete comment. I don't want to use that. Put user in timeout. I certainly don't want to use that. Ban user and delete their comments. I certainly don't want to do that. So, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, he does have boot cuts. The boot rotates all around. The ankle bends down about that far, bends up about that far, and it is, I don't know, the lighting is like really bad here. It is on one of these rocker ankles, so that rotates all the way around. So that's pretty much the articulation that you get on Scrap Iron. Again, pretty standard. Most G.I. Joe classified, that's about the range of motion you get on these. So like I said, I kind of slept on this guy for a bit because he was a little pricey, but I did always want to pick him up. And here recently I had been thinking, well, maybe I can see if I can find a good deal for him on Amazon or eBay or something like that. So I was already thinking about picking one up, and then lo and behold, ran into one at Ross. So sometimes God, the universe, the force, whatever you want to call it, sometimes it provides and gives you exactly what you need. So you just went to Ross one day, and there he was. So that was how I got that. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I don't think there's much more to say about Scrap Iron other than it's a pretty impressive figure with some pretty impressive accessories, and I'm glad I was able to pick him up finally. So we are not done with G.I. Joe Classified, though, because we still got one more G.I. Joe Classified figure to open. When I was at Target, at Target, I ran across the Snow Serpent retro carded figure, so I'll have that to open up for you next. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss that, make sure you like and subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about Scrap Iron, both the figure and the character in general. He didn't get all that much to do in the comics, to be honest. Like, he had a few appearances that I thought were pretty memorable, but he was never really a major player. And like I said, he was pretty late in the game as far as appearing in the comics to begin with. I think there were like a few episodes that dealt with him some on the cartoon, but again, he really didn't get a whole lot to do other than I think he was in Arise, Serpentor Arise. He was the original Serpentor with the air chariot. Yeah, I had that one too. I wasn't able to get the classified version, unfortunately, because that was like ridiculously expensive. Like, and it sold out really fast too. I might have even coughed up the change to have that one because that was a pretty impressive looking figure, but it just sold out so fast I wasn't able to get it. But yeah, in the Rise Serpentor Arise, he was the one who seemed to be kind of like his loyalties seemed to kind of shift back and forth between Cobra Commander and Serpentor, just whichever one I guess was more convenient for him at the time. He's kind of a weasel, I guess. But but yeah, and like I said on the file card, it implies that originally he worked for Destro. So who were his true loyalties really for? We don't really know. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll be back next time with the Snow Serpent. We will talk to you next time. Bye.